Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I've really been thinking about today's topic a lot, and we're basically going to be talking about how to be your own best friend and why it's important to be your own best friend, especially in this day and age. People come and go all the time, but at the end of the day, you're going to be the one that's the most constant thing in your whole life. It's not that you can't trust other people. Obviously, I'm sure you're going to have good friends that come in your life. You're gonna have supportive family members. Hopefully you'll attract a relationship that is perfect for you. But regardless of the relationships that you cultivate in your lifetime, the relationship that you have with yourself is the most important one. Life is gonna be a lot harder if you haven't figured out how to become best friends with yourself. So I really hope that this video is able to help you guys become your bestie for life. All right, let's get into it. And if you guys catch me drifting off to the side, it's because I'm looking at my notes. Let's just start off with the basics. Why should you be best friends with yourself? Well, when you're best friends with yourself, you are going to feel like you are solely responsible for the way that your life turns out. You're gonna be a lot less prone for victimizing yourself, blaming others, and getting caught up in messy situations that just don't suit you. Speaking of messy situations, when your standards are high for yourself, you're a lot less likely to entertain situations that no longer serve you and people that just don't serve their purpose in your life. I think that when we're not able to connect with ourselves, we blame it a lot on feeling lonely and feeling like we need to be seen and heard by others constantly. And what this ends up doing is that we will often neglect our own needs and wants because we want to be accepted by others and we want to seem like we're able to fit in more. Moving on to my next point, when you decide to become best friends with yourself, you will only have yourself to validate yourself. Trust me, this is a really good thing, but it is difficult because we are so used to seeking external validation. For example, when you decide to validate yourself, you are going to choose that self-care day over going out with your friends. Trust me, I personally love to go out with my friends, but I know that I have to do that in moderation. Self-care matters a lot more than what my friends want from me. I'm not saying to cut off all your friends and say no to every single plan that there is so that you can spend so much time with yourself, because that would kind of suck. But what I am saying is that, let's say it's been a really long week for you and all you want to do is binge watch some movies and engage in self-care, and overall you also would love to just catch up on some sleep and have your me time, but your friends are insisting that you go out. In that moment, it is really important to evaluate what you want, because maybe in the moment, the idea of partying with your friends seems like a great idea. But let's say you do decide to go to that party and now you're there and your head's hurting, you're exhausted, you feel like you just dragged yourself. Now you're resenting your friends and yourself for the decision that you made when you easily could have prioritized yourself. Do things that your future self will genuinely thank you for. You will be one step closer to becoming more connected with yourself. By establishing this kind of mindset, you will definitely start feeling closer to yourself. More often than not, we tend to get caught up in our current reality and we forget to check in and ask ourselves what we really want. You know, for me, I've had weeks where I've just been engrossed with work and I literally have not had the time to check in with what I really need to prioritize, what I'd like to do in my free time, and what have you not. By normalizing certain patterns and behaviors in our lives because we are so caught up with our current reality, we're immediately more prone to just being fully disconnected with ourselves. By spending more time with ourselves, we are easily able to figure out what exactly we want from friendships, relationships, our life, our lifestyles. It becomes easier for us to implement proper changes into our lives so that we can be headed towards a positive direction that is better suited for our lives. Think about it. Maybe you have a best friend in your life, or there is an ideal vision that you have of a best friend. Chances are that you'd want a best friend to motivate you to accomplish your goals and to remind you of what you really want and what's not good for you. So similarly, it is important to be able to do that for ourselves. When you become tight with yourself, you're not going to want to put other people on a pedestal anymore. You're going to start putting yourself on the pedestal because you're going to want to be the highest version of yourself. When you put yourself on a pedestal, your needs come first. You prioritize everything that you need to do and you start looking up to yourself. You respect and love yourself more. You are just setting yourself up for success. This goes back to what I was saying earlier in the video. You're going to be less likely to put others' needs before yours. We always hype our friends up and want the absolute best for them. When they accomplish something big, we're so happy for them. Really have to start putting that energy into ourselves and not give that energy away to just everyone. You start treating yourself like the prize, that energy just ends up flowing and people can sense it right off of you. That energy is naturally going to attract better situations and better people into your life. It's not about becoming so selfish to the point where you only care about yourself. It's about pouring that energy and love into yourself like a best friend would for you. And when you are a better friend to yourself, you will also become a better friend to others. Overall, be a better person to those people in your life. So how do we actually become our own best friend? Number one, start spending more time with yourself. Instead of feeling lonely when you have no plans or overcommitting yourself to way too many plans, go ahead, take a step back and figure out a time that works for you each week where you are just able to wind down and be with yourself. Engage in some sort of self-care, whether that's oiling your hair, putting on a mask, watching your favorite movie, going on a nice walk. It could literally be any activity that brings you some joy. This will start telling your mind that you actually are able to enjoy time with yourself alone. 2, engage in more self-care. You'll be able to confidently wake up each morning knowing that each and every day you are able to take really good care of yourself, only be improving your physical health, spiritual health, and mental health consistently. 3, practice self-discipline. Now, we always talk about self-love, and obviously that is very important, but if you're not able to have any sort of discipline in your life, then the chances of you actually getting things done are just gonna be slim. I think sometimes we get too carried away with self-love and just being too easy on ourselves and always treating ourselves. You don't want to overdo that aspect. I think that when you build self-discipline, that is actually a form of self-love anyway, in the best way possible. Also think about it this way. When you do have best friends in your life, you want them to keep it real with you. You don't want them to just sugarcoat things because that's really not going to help you grow in the long run. One of the expectations that you have in friendships is for friends to keep it real with you and to give you tough love when it's necessary. You have to be willing to be able to do that with yourself. 4, celebrate your wins. I don't care how big or small these wins are. It could literally be as simple as you decided to stick to your sleep schedule and you're finally waking up early enough to go to the gym before work. Go ahead and get yourself a new sports bra or treat yourself to a nice little pastry. It could literally be anything. Or it could be going out for dinner with your friends and celebrating because you got promoted at work. So yeah, just constantly celebrate your wins. At the end of the day, any sort of accomplishment is a win because it indicates that you are making some sort of progress in your life. So that to me is worth celebrating. 5, practice self-compassion. It's so easy for us to beat ourselves up over the smallest of things, whether that's mistakes that we made in the past, whether that's overthinking about what we're gonna do in the future. We tend to scrutinize ourselves over literally anything. But we have to remind ourselves that we're just human. As a friend, would you really go ahead and criticize your best friend over some stupid shit she did a few months ago? Absolutely not. You would tell her to have more compassion for herself, that she made a mistake, but she was able to move on from it, and that everything is absolutely okay because the present is what really matters. What matters the most is how she is as a person overall. Similarly, we have to learn how to not be so hard on ourselves all the time. I also feel like it's so easy to go in a downward spiral mentally. That will actually demotivate you from doing the things that you're supposed to do for yourself. This one's a tough one, but it's also kind of a no-brainer. Make sure you're setting healthy boundaries. Now, this is something I struggle with because I love answering my friends' texts. If they call me at night, I want to yap to them about everything. But even I have to tell myself that after 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., I gotta put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I'm not gonna be checking anyone's texts or calls, and I'm not gonna be responding because I'm gonna make sure my ass is going to bed. Now, that's just one example, but this can literally be applied to anything. Maybe you're trying to achieve your dream body, but your friends love eating out. Try to cut back on how much you're eating out and communicate to them that you have a new set of priorities and you'd like to focus on your diet more, so you're gonna try to eat at home more. This is another good one that I'm actually trying to work on, but set better boundaries when it comes to being on your phone. You get distracted easily and you're prone to scrolling constantly through TikTok or Instagram reels. Then make sure you set limits with how much time you're spending on these apps. Basically, put your phone away on the other side of the room so you can get your work done during the day. Implement small hacks, figure out what works for you, but ultimately, when you do set boundaries with yourself and other people, it signals to yourself and others that you're actually very serious about your life. You're not here to just waste time and F around because you actually have shit to get done. So to end off this video, I just want to remind you guys that at the end of the day, it's really about being consistent with the process. It takes time to build a relationship with anyone, right? When you first enter a relationship or a friendship, it naturally is going to take time for that relationship to grow and evolve. Start to learn about each other's likes, dislikes. You're going to figure out what kind of dynamic works for the both of you guys. Similarly, that's exactly how it's going to be with yourself. So give yourself some grace and give yourself some time to grow and evolve within yourself. That's all for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If this video helped you guys out, please make sure to give this video a like and go ahead and drop a comment down below. Let me know which of these tips resonated with you guys the most. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.